Somebody is in. Yes, I'm going to start. Okay, I think we need to start. I guess we need to start now. Haven't I let you? You're welcome. You're in. Yes, you're in. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Very glad again to be with you today. And today is the conclusion of our series we started since Wednesday. And this is vision management, idea creation and vision management. And we have been able to look at idea generation, look at mindset, identity, goals and intention. We are still on that vision management. What we're going to be doing today is process. Now, if you look at the trend of what we have been doing, we started with generating ideas. Assuming you have been thinking of what to do, that package was meant for you to help you generate ideas. Or if you already have an idea, but you don't know how to go about things, then that's why we brought in the other ones, because mindset is because most times we get discouraged on the way and then you tend to drop.
Everybody go there, they watch.
So we came down to was trying to be sure that your idea is in line and what you meant to do. That is what purpose is supposed to check yourself, check your calling and everything, and then your business. Then when we come to vision, how you create a vision out of it. And also, look who you are. Yeah, it's coming back again. So we are, it's not much showing me. I should block you. So we're going to be looking at strategy and process, what you need to do now that you have your idea. Now that you have your idea, you have understood your purpose, you know your identity, you have your goals now. So the next thing is how you're going to manage that the strategies you need to be able to carry out these ideas, like bring it to fruition. That's what we're looking at today. And if you remember, when we looked at goals and intention, we're able to establish the 1-4-4 method. So we're going to look deeply into that method, because that is where the strategy lies. That's where the strategy lies. So we come with the first slide. So the first slide is talking about what you will learn in this lecture today. It's going to introduce you to strategy and process. We're also going to look at strategy versus process. It will look at mapping out strategy for your goals, mapping out process for your goals, and of course, exercise and home play. I hope we are doing our home play, because if you really want this thing to be meaningful to you, you have to do your home play. So we're looking at the first one is now, what does it mean? Setting out your goals, creating benchmarks, and working out activities and intention is great, but it is strategy and process that gets them done. All of the things we have done, they are very important, but it's this strategy and process that we have to follow. Goals may be harder or impossible to achieve. Of course, most time we set goals, we have plans, but then we come to the point that we don't even know we can't achieve those plans. And this, we are going to understand why. Knowing what strategies to apply and which process to follow may mean the difference between success and feedback. Now, not success and failure, success and feedback, because there's no room for failure. If you think you didn't make it, you only need to get a feedback from that experience and apply and do your corrections so that you can get success. So you're not expected not to fail. Even when you fail, is a feedback. That's why we're using the word feedback. Not having a strategy is a strategy in itself, and not understanding your process. It's because whenever you start doing something and you observe that you are not succeeding, the natural thing is that it begins to affect, it becomes a pattern. And if that pattern comes in, it's disempowering, because it might make you not to take a plunge anymore. It might make you not to want to do anything because there's already a pattern that it may not succeed. That is what we want to run away from here. The strategy versus process. The strategy was first used in the military during the wars and is referred to as the arts and science that deal with overall planning and conduct of a goal. It is a culmination of your action plans, and intention. Now, the strategy is that thing, the whole thing you have put up together, your plans and your intentions and everything you have put up together is a strategy. Now, process, on the other hand, refers to the series of events that lead to a result. Process takes strategy and orders from A to C. Now, you have to have strategy. This is the way you need to do something. The process deals with the nitty-gritties of those ways, of those things you want to do. So strategy is the main thing. Process are those things, tiny bits of things that bring those things to pass. Now, process defines the way the task is carried out and focuses too closely on every step within a task. Yes. Process is that every step within that task, all the processes, all the stages that you have to go to be able to execute that task. These are the things that we call processes. Now, process is the precursor to strategy that gives you the ability to consistently react in the best possible way in the situation. Now, first, of course, is what distractions. If there's no process, you just have the plan without the breakdowns of those plans, that which is a process. The plan operates both process, 5% of planning, why process you take about 95%. You see, Abraham Lincoln said if you have 5 minutes to chop down a tree, that he will use 3 minutes to sharpen his axe. You know, it then means that you need to pay more attention to the strategy. Because if so we are looking at mapping out strategy now. Take some time. We're looking at mapping out strategy. Like I was saying, strategy is the main thing. In any venture you want to take, in anything, we take our time and map out the strategy you want to use to go about it in any business. And that is the point of what we're doing this morning. You have to understand the strategy you want to use. The strategy session, they're a very important section. It's something you must know how to do. So take out some time to map out your strategy and completely Take out some time, map out your strategy and focus, and then relax. Get a big notebook, and if you're doing mapping your strategy, it's something you have to plan. Get your pen and paper, or even a board, and do it. And it's something you have to even do with your workers, if you have them. It's not something you can do all by yourself.
What did you eat?
I'm coming to join you now.
What did you eat? So you knew.
Fun. I'm coming to join you. I want to get my laptop. How will I tell you? You now decide from upstairs. You now close your mind. No.
A class of protein will have. You don't have any other protein that you can. This is a class of protein.
You do that. It's down and okay, so I'm continuing. Sorry about the network. Our network is fluctuating seriously today, but it's okay. So in mapping out your strategy, so for any business you want to do, we are still on strategy. You need to take out time and work out how you intend to do it. That is what strategy is all about. You need to sit down. You don't just run into anything without working out the strategy in your mind, how you're going to do it. It's not just in your mind. You carry a paper or a board and write it out. Now, what do you write out? Write out your goals at the top of large notepad or whiteboard. Then draw 4 rectangles under it. The goal and draw lines from the goals to each of the rectangles. If you remember what we said yesterday about 1, 3, 3, 4, if you remember that clearly, we talked about 1 goal, 4 benchmarks, and 4 activities. It's just a strategy. That does not mean that you cannot use another benchmark. Your benchmark could be 4, 5 or more, and the activities could be 4, 5 or more, depending on how and the kind of work you're doing. But this is just a guide to you so that you know how to work around it. So if you have in each of the rectangles, write out 4 benchmarks from the earliest to the, and complete the longest from the right. Underneath each rectangle, draw 4 rectangles and attach lines from each. I'm going to show you the next slide. I will show it. And in those smaller rectangles, write 4 action points for each of those major goals. You should have a total of 16 action points for each of your benchmark. If an action point does not suit a benchmark, you can remove it or redo it. The point of the exercise is to show you how goals should be completed from the short time to long time. That's from left to right, and review your plans if there is a break in flow of right to left. So it's something that you can review. So we are still on the map. So look at it now. Remember what we said, or why when we talked about strategy. Yeah. Remember where we started? One goal, 4 benchmarks, and 4 activities. Now, when you look at this, you will see benchmark 1, benchmark 2, 3, and 4. Then you now see on benchmark 1, you now see activities 1, 2, 3, 4. Onto the same way. What is this saying? You have your goals set out. Now each goal you have set out, maybe you want to have training. Maybe you want to have training. How many trainings in a benchmark? And now say, okay, what we need to have in training. And then in each of the training, what are the activities attached, to each of the training? So these are the ways we break it down.
Yes,
Now, it will help you to plan if it's within if your benchmark is a month, or if it is a quarter, or if it's every 2 months, that means you have a benchmark. Now, each of them you now begin to break down the activities or the things that will enable you to achieve that particular goal. You put it down. Now, if you're running or if you're having a system that you want to have 5 goals, each of the 5 goals, that is how you create it. So at the end of the day, you find out that you'll be having up to 16 activities per it. So by the time you get up to that, it will now help you to know. And in each of these, you also apportion time and dates to it. By the time you are apportioning time and date, it will help you to work on the process clearly, so that you know what you're doing. Because most times we set goals, we create these things, and we just leave it loose. Honestly, I've been doing that. When you just set goals without any plan, without any projection, without any, it's more like a prayer point. When somebody sees it on a piece of paper, it's more like a prayer point. It's not a goal, because there's no activity attached to it. So that is how mapping. Remember where we started. First of all, you map out a strategy. A strategy is what you want to do, and process are the things you'll be doing to achieve that strategy. Like if your strategy is to make this kind of money in this quarter, then what we come up is what activities will I do to make this kind of money. If you're into selling, buying and selling, okay, you buy this, you buy that. By the time you calculate all that you're going to buy and sell, is to be able to make this amount. Or if you're into any kind of business you are, it will help you to break it down. So this is that is strategy. The essence of this, it will help us. Let us apply it, and you see how your business will change. Because one thing is that it will help you to organize yourself, even to the days you're going to do this thing. You now know that daily, this is what you're going to do. You're going to get to that. And that is strategy. Now, mapping out your process. Process, on the other hand, refers to the series of events that lead to results. Process takes strategy and orders it from A to Z. So when you look at strategy, from the beginning of strategy to the end of to Z of it, you now look at what are the processes, what do I need to do to enable this strategy to work. Then define the way that a task is carried out and focus so closely on every step within that task. So it tells you the task that you need to carry out and every step associated with that task. The mapping out your process, you also want to identify which activities are repetitive and which ones are one-off. Of course, there are some activities that is daily, every day you do it. There are some activities that is done weekly. There's even some that is done monthly, and there is even some that is done, like when I said you want to do training every quarter. So that training every quarter is an activity. It's done every quarter. So, but then for you to be able to do the training every quarter, some activities are done daily. How are you going to bring in the people? How are you going to generate people or make them to come? So there are some things you do daily, maybe marketing, talking to people, selling, publishing or advertising the program. These are the daily activities that will help you to carry out that major goal that you have set out. And it's also important to know that your process should lead to achievement of each benchmark and ultimately your goal. Now, every process should lead you to achieve the benchmark. Like if we say one of the benchmark is to have a training every quarter. So all of the activities we are doing for that program is to bring people, to bring money, to bring effort, so that at the end of that benchmark, which is that quarter, we are able to run a successful training. Which is the benchmark. So what are the activities? Maybe we need to write a post, maybe we need to invite people, or maybe you need to post people. Whatever you're going to do to draw attention to that activity are the processes you need. The process lays the foundation for doing things with ease. Of course, if you have a process, it will not be difficult again to do things. You already know how you do this, the process of onboarding people, the process of graduating people, it is already there. So it helps you to follow a pattern. It's not at any stage you're creating a new thing. Then list out activities that you benchmark and brainstorm the best possible process that will produce the best possible outcome. So you also list out that process.
Please, I say I'm in a class. Don't make noise.
Like if it is a form, we send out forms. They know that this is a process. And then collecting of the form is another process. Payment is another process. These are the different processes. Then repetitive tasks should be grouped separately and non-repeat. So these are the different processes that is going to go through to enable those things to come. Then mapping out your process. For repetitive tasks, group them under daily. Now, if it is something that is done daily, of course, it should be done daily. There are some things you need to do every day. You need to make awareness. People need to know visibility, and it should be done daily. That is done. Then for the one that need to be done weekly, you need to know. For the one that is done monthly and quarterly, needs to know. I know these things at times you think you know it, you have it, but the essence of it is when you begin to do it, you find out that the difference is in the doing. And it is in that doing that the result will come. Then what needs to be done to ensure they happen as planned? Which tasks need to come first and to be effective? Note that everyone's process differs according to their business. Yes, the size of organization, whether it's a part-time or full-time business, whether they work from home or not, whether they have a team or not, and even individual productive and non-productive times. These are the things you need to find out, because there are times, especially if you're working on your own, there are times you find out that you work better in the mornings or work better early in the night or late in the evening. Depending on these are the things you have to discover. And then responding to mails, when are you supposed to? So these are the different processes, meaning that the processes will have to be itemized first of all of what you're doing, so that appropriate time can be attached to it. Then mapping out your process. The process makes your job automatic over time, so you must fit into your schedule, your value, your identity, your capabilities, and your time reading. Of course, it cannot be overemphasized. It has to be with who you are. Like if you find it difficult to work in the night or you always sleep, there's no how you can attach any serious work that period, because you won't be awake enough to do it. So the process will have to do what? Be in tandem with who you are, work with your schedule, your values, your identity, your capabilities, and even the reading, the way you work, it has to be the same. So when you look at this process now, you see repetitive tasks, daily tasks, like example, like posts on social media. But today, I mean, what is important now for businesses is that people eliminate costs. Before, you have to look for money to advertise your product, but you can easily do posts on social media, so which is supposed to be a tax now. And if you understand that is a tax, it then means that you have to now create it. It's a function. It's not something you gloss over. So it's a task. Post on social media, engaging with your audience. Even when you have posted, you know that you also need to engage with them. You need to respond to them. That's how you know you identify those that are serious, those that want to do. So you also create time for that. Then you also need to understand when the best time your friends or in your page, when they respond, is it in the morning, is it in the night, is it in the evening? So these are the things you need to understand, because you respond to their own time. They send email. When are you supposed to send email? All of these things will be created. Then read. Maybe these are the things, best activities that you do, the processes. Respond to inquiry, sell 10 copies of your book, or anything you're selling or your product. Whatever product you have, this is a daily task. This is something that must happen daily. Whether rain falls or it doesn't fall, this is daily task and it must happen daily. So the importance of putting these things down is that when you put it down, it will be able to help you to trace what you're not doing and what you haven't done well. The weekly task, plan income goal for the week. Of course, at the end of every week, you're able to plan. What did I end this week? Then you plan for the other week. Then update your product page. If there are new things you need to add and all of that. So these are the things that need to be written out. If it is written out, it will help you to then do a live broadcast. Maybe you do it weekly. Then these are weekly plan. Then and on that weekly plan, you plan even the topics, you plan the things you want to do. Then work on your new product, finish your work, whatever you're writing, is anything or video, depending on who you are and what kind of services you render. You plan your week based on who you are. These are just examples for guide. Then there's monthly tasks. Remember, we are looking at processes now, market now processes. So reviewing income and expenses. At the end of the month, you're actually supposed to review your income and expenses. Then you plan for new months, and then you launch new products if that is part of your monthly plan, or run ads to lead to the management, or map out constant team for the month. Yeah, it will also help you, like if you're doing constant posts, you're able to know the kind of post you make for this week or for this month, because you have already mapped it out and it is already working for you. Now, then some of them I couldn't make it for the other for quarterly, because you can also do it for quarterly and you can also do it for half year and yearly. So by the time you do it, it will help you. Now, live events every two months, so like every quarter, you want to review what you have done for the whole week. So what you do for quarter is different from what you do for a weekday. So live event, maybe you want to do live events, probably in your own, like us as an NGO, every quarter we should be able to do one live event. So you now notice that this year, even if it means going to a school to say something, or going or organizing events, but it's out offline, it's outdoors. Such thing you also offline hangout or whatever. You also know, maybe every quarter or every twice in a year, you just note it. So those ones are not repetitive tasks. They are times that you do once in a while. But what is the whole thing talking about? It's talking about being able to organize, because implementation of all of that is what will bring results, and that, if it gives you results, is what you're looking for. So what we are saying is that strategy is what you need when you set your goals. Then you plan out your strategy, like the method we are using, 1-4-4 method, which will give you 1 goal, 4 benchmarks, and 4 activities. It is now left for you to have a set of goals. So if you have 5 goals, what it then means that you have to have 5 benchmarks, and then you have to have 5 activities. Now, that does not mean that your activity will just be, or your benchmark will be only 4. It's just an example. Yours could be more or less, but 4 is a standard, so that it makes you not to be confused or not to have too many things you're looking at. And then it will be able to help you to take care of all of that. I know a lot of people have been going in and coming out. So the home plate is saying, draw out 1 year strategy for your goal. So, because yesterday we talked about goal and vision extensively. So today is telling you, draw out 1 year strategy from what we have seen. If it's like, first of all, you list out your goals, and then the strategy is now, you look for the benchmark, and then you look for the activity. You can use this 1-4-4 method for a start. It will help you. So draw out your 1 year strategy for your goal, then draw out a process plan. So look at what we have done today. The process plan is also here, which will give you a breakdown to all the activities that you will need to do to be able to get the plan. So when you put up a goal, you can now write down, this is how you group it. You put it, this a goal for the first quarter of 1 month. Then you now list activities that will help you to achieve that goal. These are the process. When you list it, you can now group it. That's a simple way of doing it. You list, you put your goal down, you put your benchmark. Goal is, okay, I want to achieve this in this month, or now that we're entering the last quarter of the year, okay, this is the last quarter of the year, I want to achieve so and so amount of money. So what are the strategies to do it? You now identify strategies. I'm going to do one through training. I'm going to achieve the other one, like me now, through my my book now that I have. I'm going to achieve the other one through, you list out the strategies you think. Now, through the training, how are you going to do it? You now list out processes that will help you to get the training. Through the selling of book, what are the processes? Which platforms are you going to take it? Where are you going? Maybe I'll take it when I'm going out for speaking engagement. I will sell it in this platform. I will look for influencers that can also help me to sell it. So these are now strategies. And then by the time you identify all of them, you now group it. If you group it now, you know the activities you will do daily. You understand the activities you will do weekly. You understand the activities you do monthly. And so that at the end of the quarter, by December, you would have been able to group all of this together and be able to meet your target. Maybe my target would be like, to be able to sell up, make up to 500,000. So you now group it and know how to go about it. So this is a simple way of strategy and process. And home play saying, draw out your 1 year strategy. And I just tried to repeat it because of some people that are coming in. And then draw out a process plan for your goal. So it's just what I have said. Process are those little things that you do to achieve the goal. It could be your post every morning. It could be searching for new information. It could be the books you want to read that is related to that thing you want to sell. Everything that will lead you to achieve that goal is your process. Then the strategy is the main thing you want to do, and the things that will lead you to achieve that. So with that, I'll come to the end of strategy because this is the final day. I'm going to go over to personality development because it's very important who you are. You know, this thing we're saying, because of who you are, some people will just, okay, I have heard it before, and you just drop it. The truth is that you won't do anything about it because you probably heard it before, never did anything about it. So, but it's your personality that will determine all of these things we've been talking about, how well you're going to use it, how well you're going to put it to use, which is the next slide I'm going to go into. So please stay with me. Let me change the slide, then I'll be back with you. Thank you so much. am I sitting now? Is it full screen? Is it there, right? This one. Open this one. Okay, we are back. Sorry about the interruption. So I'm going to look at personal development now, personally, because really everything we do, we have learned or we're learning, falls back to who you are. And it's who you are that will determine what you're going to do with the information that you're getting. Every day we get information, every day. Every day we are getting information from everywhere. A lot of us know a lot, but what we know, we're not putting it to use. So this is why it's very key to talk about personality, who you are. It's very important. It's what will determine how far you can go. So personality is the differences in each individual characteristics, pattern of thinking, feeling, behaving. It is the sum total of your physical, mental, emotional, and social characteristics of an individual. You know, it's sum total of who you are. And it goes a long way to say what you will do or how you will handle the information you're getting. If we are handling the information, that's why you see, like when we started about mindset, we said that two people, 24-year-old individual, they can be working in an office and they are sacked the same day. When the other one goes to drown in alcohol, the other one goes to think that maybe it's about time for me to start. It's the personality. The other one is seeing it as a lift, but the other one is seeing it as a downfall. That's why you see two ladies, they went through the same breakup in relationship. One go to her Facebook page and be posting her nonsense, all men are evil and all of that. The other one will go and begin to give love another chance. It's about the person, the individual. So who you are is very important. How you receive information. That's why we started with mindset. That's why we talked a lot about mindset, because a lot of people with fixed mindset, no matter what you want to say, it doesn't change anything around them. So your personality goes a long way to show or to tell how far you can go. Have you ever had this thing that this person has a great personality? Yeah, maybe the person, the way he walks, everything about the person is impressive. And you see some other person, your appearance alone makes people, repels people. They don't want to do anything with you. It's about personality. So what are we talking? So you begin to look at yourself. Do I even repel people? If people like me, merely see me, is it attractive? You see, because if you repel people, you may not even attract good things to yourself. That's why we are looking at it. It's the process of enhancing and grooming one's outer and inner self to bring a positive change. That's what his personality is, grooming you, every part of you, outer and inner self. Some people will tell you, I know who I am and this, but do people know you like that? Maybe for me, you're a troublemaker. In your own mind, you're a good person. That's that. So what we are talking about is that your personality is important. So each individual has a distinct persona, and it can be developed, it can be polished, and it can be refined. So it doesn't matter where you are or how you are. One thing you should know is that that persona can be developed, it can be polished, and it can be refined. Then, and what we are talking about can be physical, can be mental, because a lot of problems that people have is mental, emotional. That's where people have problems. Then social. And when you have problems, eventually it will affect your physical. Because if people cannot relate with you, they can't trust you to do business with you. And if they can't trust you to do business with you, there will be no money in your hand. So the process involves removing and evaluating the attitudes and tendencies that are limiting, while you consciously learn and imbibe attitudes, skills, beliefs, styles that are what? Empowering. So these are the things you consciously work on, empowering personality. And when they see you, do they want to work with you? Do they want to deal with you? How is your personality? Is it disempowering or empowering? So these are the things you need to find out. It includes boosting your confidence, improving your communication and language speaking abilities, dropping harmful habits, acquiring habits and skills, widening your scope of knowledge. So for some people, they lack a lot of confidence. I wanted to do something with somebody, they just didn't sound confident to me, and I left him because I wasn't ready to gamble. Now, but yet you can see another person. Look at social media. There's one lady, everything about her, but she's sounding so confident. And the truth is that it's only very few people that will criticize her. Too many others are already, she has already bought them over. So how are you? How do people view you? Are you a confident person? If you're not, it will help you to know where the area you begin to work on. Then, of course, at times it means you have to learn etiquette, style, grace, how to walk, how to look, how to behave, generally imbibing oneself with positive liveliness and peace. These are the things. Then why do I need to develop my personality? Why? It helps you to create good impression about yourself and others. It helps you to build and develop relationships in your career growth and also to improve financial needs. It's very important. If people can work with you, it will affect your cause. They won't trust you to give you business. It's a tool to help you realize your capabilities, your strengths, making you a stronger, happier, and satisfied person. Now, if you enhance your capacity, if you are a stronger person, invariably you will attract business. There's no two ways about that. If you're a confident person, even what area you've not done before, there's nothing too hard anymore. You said, okay, you can do it. You go and study it. You may not sleep overnight to get it. But you need to understand that you need to show confidence. If people can see, if you're always looking fearful, you won't get much. That is the truth. And the world, there's no pity, there's no sentiment. If people are serious, their business is serious. There's no sentiment. So you need to get it and get it hard. And then understand that you need to work on yourself. Now, personality damage, I don't want to talk about that. It's uniquely for some people, but let me go to where personality reconstruction. Now, depending on where you are, you begin to know what I need to do. In your own, it might not be serious reconstruction. It might just be a little thing there. You know, like when when a house is being renovated, at times it's a major renovation. It's like the buildings are coming down, the walls, some parts of the walls. And in some places, it's a little patches here and there. So it's left for you to know where you are and know maybe it's a little beefing up here, beefing up there, patches here, paint here, and all of that. Or your own need a major fundamental reconstruction. You identify that and go through that route. Now look at the words. In the words of Martin Heidegger, he said they are living an inauthentic existence, giving away to decisions that are not really their own. They are living as if they are borrowing parts of their head, borrowing their ideas, affection, and even sense of self from everyone. Like that's people that are not themselves, people that are incomplete people. You're not living authentic life. You find that when you look at your life, now you ask yourself, am I really living an authentic life? There are some people you see, you find out that they are everything I want to be. That person is living your dream. So what do I do to live my dream? Maybe you're now living an authentic life. You're not living your dream. You know that this is not where I ought to be. This is not me. You're looking at the other person, that's me. Then what are you going to do to change that situation? Or else you live an inauthentic life. So that brings us to personal transformation. It's a process of changes that occur in individuals' life, usually improves performance. So when we are talking about, by the time from the stage you were to the stage you're going to be, see that something has happened, a transformation has taken place. And how can this transformation take place? Is when you begin to look at everything we have said from Wednesday, you begin to apply it. Please, I'm urging us, don't take anything, don't think you know anything. You come down and begin to apply it. As you do it, that's when you see transformation coming. That's when you begin to see change coming. That's when you begin to notice that something is happening to you. Now, 5 steps of transformation. How do you get transformation? Hearing. Like for these 3 days you've been hearing. What are you hearing? What you have heard? Are you ready to do it? And lectures like this, you now need to go back. There was a course I took, and then the trainer said after this course that many taking this, and I don't want to tell you how much I paid for that course so heavily. And he said, I don't even believe because you have stayed here for 5 days and taken this course that it is now that see yourself as somebody going back to the university or going back to school that you begin to study. I didn't understand it until now. I came in now. At times I just say, if you look at my bag, I'm carrying books, and I say, okay, I now understand what she was saying. And it is now that it's making sense. So you can even put $1,000 or $2,000 or $3,000 and go for a training and come back and pack it somewhere. And that will be your end of $3,000. Because it's what you want to do with. That is when you start. That is when you want to verify all that you have read. That is when the teachings take. That by what? Seeing. So those things you have heard, begin to see it. That is when transformation is taking place. That is when understanding, because you need to, because what I'm saying now is going like this. I promise I'm going to give us a book, but unfortunately, it's still not fully ready. I will still do that. But you need to do what? The words you have picked up from this lesson. You know how I do? At times I hear a new word, I just go to Google. By the time I finish with Google, I already know more than the person that mentioned the word. So any word that you're picking from here, it is up to you now to go back and check it out and learn more from it. That is the only time you can learn. Then the next stage of transformation is internal conversion. Until you get to the level of internal conversion, you have not gotten anything. It's when you have converted this knowledge internally and it becomes your own. That is when you will know that you have learned something. You must come to this point. You leave the stage of hearing, you leave the stage of seeing, you leave the stage of understanding and get to the level of internal conversion. Until you get to that level, you have not understood. And whenever you have internal understanding, the natural thing that follows is what? Physical manifestation. You'll be like a cup that is full. A cup that is full, the next thing that does, it pours away. It just starts pouring. And that's what you do. Whenever you talk, people will marvel because you are full. You have converted your information. You know it now, you can manifest it. And that is when you can now establish that transformation has actually taken place. So for all we have done from Wednesday till now, each day is two. On yesterday, we had actually dealt with 4 major topics. It's until you come to the point of physical manifestation, then there's really no transformation. I'm going to skip this. The natural source of information, I can just mention it, you read. You have to read. Whatever I'm giving here is only a tip. If you want to know more, you can follow me on my pages in Facebook so that you know what we are doing. This is just the first step of the series of what we want to do. The next step that would have followed this thing is business development. Now, business development is going to talk about how you can now develop these things, how you can attract customers, how you can customer avatar, how you can customer awareness, customer education, conversion. It's at that point because people can only pay for what they like, what they know, and what they trust. It's at the point of trusting you that they'll be able to buy from you. So this is just the first series. We have like, what we have now, a series of 7 courses. We have it like that, up to 5 stages. So you can imagine. So you need to follow me. And this one is, and know the next thing so that you can follow us and see. Another way to get it is through studying. Read, 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 and read. It don't stop, because as you read, you see how much your brain is open. You see how much information that you don't even know before. Then association, who are you hanging out with? Who are your friends? Who are the people you stay with? Because if you're staying with people that are going nowhere, you're clearly not going anywhere too. But now you begin to change your association. Out there, you can see any group you want to follow, they're all there. The mentoring, attach yourself to somebody, you know, you have to be mentored. This is just a beginning point. This is just like an eye opener. This is like removing the scales in your eyes. There are so many other things you need to do. Attach yourself, get a coach, get a mentor, pay for more classes. If you want change, please pay for classes. That's the only time you can guarantee change. Then, of course, things that can hinder your personal transformation. There are a lot of things that can hinder it. You can change nothing except you expect a different result. Most times, I've heard it before, okay, and you just push it away. Or maybe it's not for me, it's for younger people. That is a lie. It's for everybody. Colonel Sanders, the man that's on KFK, that is the Kentucky Fried Chicken. It was at 65, at age 65. He was actually writing his suicide note because in life he saw himself as a failure. He failed. He had only one marriage and that marriage failed. He had only one daughter, and as he was dying, he didn't even know where the daughter was as he was about to write his suicide note. A lot of things he did didn't work. He was in the military, he didn't move far. He did so many things. And he now said, if he died, how will his daughter know that he tried in life, that he didn't succeed? Who would tell his story? He decided to write a suicide note for his own daughter, so that wherever that daughter of his is, she will read it and know that as a man he tried. So as she was writing down his suicide note, he came to a point and said that the only thing he did that he knew that people liked was whenever he made chicken. And it just dawned on him. And the chicken that people like, he never paid attention to chicken. Every other thing he did was criticism. The only thing that he did that people liked was making chicken. And he stopped his suicide note at age 65. And he started thinking about how to make chicken. That's how he came up with that Kentucky Fried Chicken. And today, we have 2 or 3 in Nigeria, which started in USA at age 55. By the time he got to age 80, he was already dining and whining with the President of America. So what am I saying? No, don't write yourself off when you are still strong, when you are still able to do something. You just think it's, just find where you can fit in. There's always a place for anybody to fit in. If you find your place, you just fit in. Don't think. Erase that from your mind that it's for some people, it is for everybody. Any person can change. Then you keep waiting and waiting and waiting. Some people will just wait for the right time, and the right time will never come. Nigeria has shown us that there's even no right time. As we wish that tomorrow will be best, we find out that yesterday was better in Nigeria. So there's no point waiting. Some people are waiting for opportunities to be created. You create your own opportunities, create your own experiences, create your own training, create your own. Stop waiting. As you create your own, what you notice is that people will come to you because you created your own. Then your planning and focus are in disarray. Most times there's even no plan. You find out that you're just walking no plan, you wake up, you move, there's no agenda. And as long as there's no agenda, you find that at the end of the year, there will be no plan. So with what we have learned today, learning goals and strategies and intentions, then set out a simple plan. Set a simple plan. Thank God, tomorrow is the last day. On Sunday is the last day of August. Tuesday is Faith Day. We still have one whole quarter. Why don't we make a quarter goal and see how far we can go? Then refuse to take risk. I mean, take risks that are necessary. These are the things that will help your hinder your personal change. At times you don't take risk at all. You're too risk averse. Anything that has to do with risk, I don't want to take risk. You have to take risks, but take informed one. Make informed decision, make inquiries, do your feasibility. You must take risks. And if after doing all you can do and it fails, let it fail, you move on again. Remember what we say, we don't entertain failure, it's feedback. Even if you fail, take it as feedback and find out where you didn't do well and go back to do well. Characteristics of a weak image, I don't want to go there. We are talking about empowering things, not disempowering today. So what we're talking about is change now. To make or become different. The process through which something becomes different. This is what we're saying. So the emphasis today is change. From wherever you are, from whoever you are, to change your personality. If you think your personality has been disempowering because of different repetitive patterns of failure, now you're hearing some new things for change. Okay, how can I change? I don't want to talk about this emotion today. This is a big slide. I'm just picking where we think we need for today. Because we are rounding off now. Sorry, I'll get where we're going. Okay, you have the capacity to make change at any time. Create a pattern of movement, create confidence, a sense of strength, flexibility, a sense of personal power. Realize that stagnation comes from lack of movement. Are we getting it? Just if you have been stagnated for a long time, not because you have not moved an inch, you have not done anything different from what you used to do. That's why you have stagnation. So create a pattern. Just create something from all that we have been talking. We talked about purpose extensively. When you look at your other gift, we have a lot of gifts, and then for me, God is not, there's nothing he gave us that is for a waste, nothing. And most times we are multifaceted, as we have ability for so many things. Now what I'm trying to do now, there are some dormant abilities in me I've left. Me now, I'm beginning to pick all of them because it cannot be a waste. It's for you to fashion how you have to work it out. I'm mapping out strategy, how I can work out all my abilities. Because God has given me abilities to express my purpose. So I cannot leave some and just be working on one and then get angry that one is not fulfilling me. Because I've just abandoned the other ones. How can one fulfill me? When God himself knew that one will not fulfill me, that's why he gave me more abilities. Now I'm beginning to explore them. Seriously. My Facebook is out. The second one is on the way. The third one, before the end of this year, I want to bring out 4. It's not because I have the materials are there. It's just that I couldn't put it together. And I'm putting everything together now. So look at your abilities. Look at them. Write it down. That's what we did in purpose. Write out all your abilities. Begin to work. If you can write, and up till now you've not put anything together, you have just shortened yourself. Because your works can be the only thing that will make them to invite you to the international. Your works, because somebody can pick it up and read it, and then you're invited. So if you are any of the ability you have not used, if you write well and write powerfully, then you have just shortchanged yourself. Go back to it. So look at all your abilities. What abilities do I have that I'm not utilizing? It's time to go with it. Now remember what we said, start with the ones you can work with now. You may not be able to start with all of them, but start with the ones you can. You start from your known before you get to unknown. So that's what we're saying. Realize that stagnation comes from lack of movement. Probably you have not done anything except with the same thing you have been doing. You go back to it. Then focus the power of concentration. There's nothing like concentrating effort on something, build visibility, build capacity. As you do that, concentrate on this, focus on it, look for books, look for experiences, look for people that are doing well, get to know with them. As you do that, you see how it will, your brain or your mind will open up. Don't look down on anybody. Recently, I was looking down on one young girl. I was saying, what can she tell? And eventually, I learned a lot from her. And not just because of what you learn is what you need. Because I tell you, all you need is one word that you need. And you go and search and you'll be able to get more from by yourself. So focus the power of concentration. You put it on something. Then how you feel about something and the meaning of particular experience, it all depends upon your focus. Focus is not true reality because it's one who feels. It's only the perception of the way things are really attached. To focus, be able to know what you get. Focus on where you want to go, not on what you fear. Where do you want to go to focus there? Look at it, study them, study what is happening there. Then you come up with your own. These are the things that will bring a permanent change in your life. How to create, we are still talking about how to create lasting change. Raise your standard. Place a demand on yourself. Write down the things you can no longer tolerate in your life. Detail the things that brought you to this state. Make up your minds to drop them. So this is how to bring a lasting change. Raise the standard. Now, how do I raise the standard? If you are the first thing is identify your area of strength, then raise that standard. If your area of strength is reading, then read more. Begin to raise standard. As you raise standard, you begin to see how you can do. Write out the things you can no longer take. There are some things that we know. At times we hinder ourselves. We find that then detail the thing that brought you to this point. How did I come to this point? I used to be this, I used to be smart, I used to be more adventurous, and suddenly what happened? Begin to the process of recovering yourself back. There's no time you cannot recover yourself. You may not run around for something, then stay on some areas, even if it's writing. I've seen there's an explosion of knowledge recently. People are writing. And what I discovered is that even with ebooks, it made things easier. So why don't we go there and do them? Make up your mind that you want a change. Everything boils down to you. Then change your limiting belief. I cannot overemphasize that. At times I believe is that it's over. I cannot do this. That's why you need courses. At times you get tired, you remember, there are some things you just remember. I say, no, I won't give up. The only thing you have to do is to re-strategize. Maybe the way I've been doing it is not good. And maybe I need to do it because those things are limiting belief. Something that this is a no, why is it a no-go area? Maybe other people are succeeding, so why can't I? These are limiting beliefs. Identify your own limiting belief. I hope you are taking notes so that you look at, these are the things you look at. Your brain is not computer. You need to remind yourself of what you have written down. Raise the standard. Our beliefs are command and we can never question it. They tell us what is possible and what is not possible. They shape our thoughts, feeling, and action. So changing our belief system is making real and lasting change. Just like we discussed the mindset. Honestly, believe at times there's nothing you can do about belief. There's somebody I wanted to be part of this nation. I thought. I just found out that I wasn't making sense to him. And I left him. Why? He has already blocked himself. And that's the truth. And there's nothing I can do about it. So you have to change that. Then another thing, change your strategy. We just talked about strategy. Maybe what you have done before is not working. Change. It's left for us to review. In order to keep your commitment, you need best strategies for achieving results. If you raise the standard, you definitely figure out a strategy that will be effective. It's up to us to find out the strategy that will be effective. Raise the standard. Of course, find a role model. We can get a partner. A partner is somebody that you can work with. It can be your spouse, it can be your coach, it can be your mentor, it can be a colleague. There's somebody that will spur you to action. Somebody that when you look at that person, you just do something. You know, at times you just don't want to do anything. And then when you come out, the person is helping you find a role model, learn what he has done and what he's doing, what is his belief system, what is his core value, to be able to achieve a better result. Then take charge of the emotion. It is key on to how far we can go. Take control over your attitude. Must not be controlled by things. Now, emotion is one thing. I don't want to talk about emotion entirely, but emotion is an entire lecture on its own. But we can, in passing, say, take charge of the emotion. Because emotion can be just feeling tired and then frustrated. Before you know it, you just drop it. And another time, you be energized. So you don't have to allow your emotion to dictate your pace. That's why if you have processes, if you have it mapped out, if you have those things, goals and intention, it will help you. We know that today, in my plan, it's supposed to do this. So my emotion cannot dictate. I have to do that because it's in the plan. That is why you need to put it down. Even God himself, tell Habakkuk, write it down. The vision is for appointed time. Do what? Write it. God knew how important it is to write. So, and I don't know how we don't want to write and think we can make it. Then say, take mastery of physical relationship, finance, time. You must learn to master. How do we even master? You can only master when you have sufficient knowledge on that thing. If you don't have information, you can't master anything. So you need teaching, you need training, you need to read, you need to understand. That's the only time you can take mastery. If you don't have that, you don't take mastery. And appreciate your success. At times, we just think you're not doing much, but you have done something already. Thank God and appreciate it and move forward. It will help you to be a better person. Learn your lessons, review your past to discover what worked and what did not work. Find out the lessons you need to learn. You are the best teacher, the best source of information. Remember what matters. Take care of yourself. Confront issues early and be positive. Then the last one says, set and track your 10 top goals. You know, so this one is you set your goals and track them. So we have talked about, let me recap the whole thing now. We have talked about, we started with idea. Now, if you don't have idea, I gave us hints on how to generate idea. But if you think you still need to understand more, you need coaching, then you come up for coaching. But that you pay. Then we talked about mindset. Most time people are held back because of their mindset. And I've looked at fixed mindset. That's what helps people fix. Is that the way it is? It is the person is lucky. No, we looked at what can help you to develop your fixed mindset, how you can reframe your mindset and have a growth mindset. We looked at all of that. Then yesterday, we looked at purpose. We also said that through your gifting will help you to express your purpose. If you can look inwards and begin to list out all the gifts you have, all the natural gifts you think you have, all the spiritual gifts you think you have, the things, every gift you think you have, everything you think you do better than others, list them. As you list them, ask yourself, what have I done with this ability? What have I done? From that area, you can have an idea of what you can start doing with those abilities. As you continue, then look at your dreams. Like we say, list your dreams. Those that you have done and have not been able to do. Look at it. Also look at thoughts and images that come to your mind. Can you look at it? How do they line up with who you are? By the time you do all of that, it will help you to discover what your purpose looks like. And I also say you can look up for our books. It will be on Amazon, on Guide to Discovery of Self and Purpose, so that you'll be able to understand that. Then we talked about vision. It's important to create your vision. Based on your goal, you can now say, within this last quarter, this is what I want to achieve. Now, vision will help you. Now, goal and intention will now help you. This is how I want to do it. This is what I will do. It will help you. Then we talked about identity. Your identity is important. Every other thing we are doing, culminating who you are. If you're not ready to change, if you're not ready to imbibe new things, you just wasted time listening to all of this. If you're not ready for change, it's a waste of time. Then we now came down to strategy and process, which is what we just finished. Strategy, you need that strategy. Remember, if you forget everything, 1-4-4 method, 1 goal, 4 benchmarks, and 4 methods. These are the things that will help you to set a simple strategy and a process to achieving them. Then we now came down to this personality. Who are you? How much of change do you want? The things that can enhance your change. Raise the standard. Remove the belief that limits you. Remove all of that. Learn your lessons. Take charge. Take mastery. Appreciate your success. More importantly, set and track your top goals. These are the things that will bring personal transformation into your life. I've been talking, so this time now you can ask your questions or write it up in any way. It's not good that you don't ask questions because I don't even know what you have learned and what you have not learned. But if you ask any question, it will help us to understand if there's any area I can help you. So ask your questions now before I conclude because I'm done. I've delivered my 3-day masterclass, and I hope you have gotten something that will help you for a fresh start. Any question, you can write it down. Okay. This is very stimulating teaching, which is beneficial to everybody. The problem is how to develop the discipline to follow it through. My question is, how does a person who is grappling with the challenges of initial startup, particularly raising the startup funds? Okay. Yeah, depending on what you want to raise, what you want to start. Remember what I said before? I said if you have now funds, capital can also come through so many ways. We have social capital. You can talk to people. People can give you money because of your person. You also have capital that you, based on what you need to exchange with. And most times people are not doing anything. You're not ready to sacrifice anything for anybody. And then suddenly when you have need, you think they will give to you. It doesn't work like that. So there are so many ways. The best ways of raising capital is from friends and family members. That is the initial first ways of raising capital. Then you can now reach out to other people. That's anywhere you go to, that's the first thing they will tell you. Even if the people want to give you money, they want to know, what do you have in you? If you want to do a business of 100,000 and want somebody, even though he has 100,000, the next question you will hear, how much do you have? And if you don't have as much as 10,000, the person may not be willing to give you 100,000. That's the reality. That's how it is in real life situations. So it does mean that you must raise capital. Now, that's why I started with, look at your giftings. Which of your gifting can you start up with without so much money? There's a lot you can do for yourself without putting so much money. And this is where coaching comes in. This is where coaching comes in, where we can now stay, we look at you, we work together to discover yourself, and then we help you to identify the things you can start with and the things you can work with. This is where coaching comes in. But the truth is that raising capital, initial capital most of the time is raised from family and is raised from friends. People that know you, people because of who you are, because of what you represent, they give you money. These are the first ways to raise capital. Or you just start small, but raising capital from any other means has its own requirements. But then look inside, what do you have that you can start selling or working with, running with, while the money comes in small? These are the questions you need to ask yourself. I don't know if I handled that question, but there's no other place. The capital is raised by friends. Capital is raised by, there's integrity too. It's a form of capital. So these are the things. That's why you need to work on your personality. That's why you need to work on your attitude. That's why you need to control your emotion, so that you'll be a consistent person, and people will trust you because of your person. But if you're a kind of somebody that's unstable, they can't trust, and if they can't trust, they can't give you money. And then you also ask. Another thing is ask. Most times we just shy away, we stay back. Looking back over the years, I just regret so many people I would have asked that I didn't ask. I said, if I knew what I know now, I would have asked. So you also ask. So these are the ways you can raise capital. But you have to be realistic. You cannot be asking somebody and saying you want to do a business of 1 million. And then what do you have? You don't have anything. You're not realistic. That is, you won't get it. Be that person, I won't give you. Because people want to put money in what they see that is already working. That's when they want to put money. So these are the things you have to look at. Please, can you drop your question again? This question time. You have questions you ask about discovering yourself. I don't know if the class we had on purpose, if it made any impact on you, if it helps you in any way to begin to have a way of discovering yourself. Any more questions? I just had one question. Or you can talk, you can actually unmute yourself and talk. Any more questions?
Hello. Hello.
Question before we close.
Well, mine is.
Which is more question? Can you hear me?
I want to make it.
Like it's not even hearing.
Well, I want to make. How do I? No, yeah. I just want to make a remark. You know. Yeah, I want to make a remark.
Any more? Somebody's hand is up.
Yeah,
Okay.
remark. I want to make a remark.
You can go ahead.
Yeah. My name is Martin. I just want to firstly I want to say that for the extent I came into this lecture, I want to say I want to really thank you for the effort you've made.
I can't hear anything.
I said, look, I said,
No, I'm not.
Hi. Are you hearing me?
I'm not hearing you.
You're not hearing me.
That is unmuted.
I've mute.
I can't hear you.
Hello? Are you hearing? You're not hearing me now? Wow. Hello? Hello?
Is it from my side?
Perhaps it's from your side. Perhaps from your side. Are you hearing me now? Are you hearing me now?
I don't know.
Hello?
I
Hello?
can't hear. My thing is supposed to be loud now.
Hello?
Is it from here?
Are you hearing me? Wow. You're not hearing me.
He's not speaking out now. Maybe he's not speaking out. Yeah, please. Let him speak directly to the system.
I can speak directly from what? Okay. Hello? Are you hearing me?
I can hear you.
Okay. Hello? Are you hearing me?
Speak up, I can hear.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Okay.
Yeah. Basically, I just want to thank you for the effort you made. This is truly stimulating and it's very helpful. I didn't get quite
I don't know whether you have stopped or you're still talking.
But the part I got, I resolve I'm going to see how I can apply. I wish some of these things were available to, hearing me. Not hearing me. You're not hearing me? Wow. Should I unmute or mute? Hello? Huh? Hello, are you hearing? And you're not hearing me? Well, I think something is wrong. Maybe I didn't. No way. Hello? Hello? Hello?
Uh-huh.
Hello?
Okay. Let him start now. Okay. I have unmuted. So that I can hear. That system is not being one. Huh? Me? Is that there? Yeah. It's supposed to be.
Hello?
Yes.
So that's the much I can add. I'm unfortunate that I can't.
Okay, go ahead now.
Well, did she hear me? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I said, yeah, that's what I have said. I mean, I've said, I don't know what I had what I said.
I didn't yet repeat.
Yes, I'm saying that I wish I had the opportunity of lectures like this earlier in time, and I'm going to apply the much I had, and I urge young people who have had this, they don't take it for granted, to put it into practice. It is gradually, every information is helpful to us to develop ourselves. Although things are difficult, yes, that's what can, let's de-emphasize the difficult times and see how we can, one writer said, tough times never last, but tough people do. If we really determine to change our life, as we hear these things and as we apply them, they will definitely bring results. Like Les Brown said, well, she said, I refuse to die and unlive life. That's what he said. And that statement really touched me. It really stimulated my activities. I refuse to die and unlive life. A lot you have said here that are very beneficial to those who want to succeed. But the truth is that there are a lot of people who don't want to succeed, who want to just live life anyhow, who are not interested in succeeding. Those are toxic people who look at only the difficult part of life, who look at challenges of life only, but they don't consider how to overcome the challenges. You've done well, and I trust that God will really continue to enhance your capacity. And above all, I also want to say that all the things you have said, I believe that much, maybe the starting point is identifying one's relationship with God. Identify who one is with God. Because without a relationship with God, well, for somebody who doesn't have, as you call it, Abraham as a father, the starting point is to develop a relationship with God. You know, that is one of the things that will really help us. and depend on God and not on man. And so everything that we set out to do, let us put God first. Thank you very much for this wonderful, really wonderful presentation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for joining us. Very grateful.
What else?
And I hope that we're taking something out of it. Okay, some other person has a question. Okay, the person can speak up now. Okay, has written it. Okay, let me look at the chat. Okay, Moses. Which one attaches himself to someone who has done? One attaches. Okay, somebody is asking a question. If one attaches himself to someone who has done it and eventually becomes a contradiction to your set target, what is the way out? Well, I don't know. Before you attach yourself to somebody, it has to be the person that is going, you have discovered that is going where you are going. Because that is the first thing you have to discover. Are we going the same place? Do we have the same destination? Is it, since you are attaching yourself, it means that you like what the person has done, and that is what you want to replicate. That is why you attached in the first place. So I don't see it being a contradiction, except if you have already attached and now discover that that place where the person is going is not exactly where you want to go. Then it then means that it's a different thing. It then means that you have to reply. You probably have to unattach yourself. So these are the things. Before you attach yourself to somebody, you have to discover, is the person going where I'm going? Is it even the person I can work with? Because some people too, they are not, they may not be able to work with you. That's why in such situation, you work with a coach. A coach's job is to help you achieve your own objective. Any person that is answering a coach already knows that his work is to help you achieve your purpose. So a coach cannot hinder you. Rather, a coach is showing you the way to go. But now when you attach yourself with somebody who you discover that is hindering you, then he's not a coach and he's not interested in your own welfare. So you don't need to attach with such a person. That's one. Then secondly, if you have already attached and discover that is not, you're not getting the result you want, then you come out. See, in life, anytime you discover that where you're going is not going to lead you to where you want to go, you stop. It's just like when you want to go to, from Lagos, you want to go to Owerri, but you're facing Kano. You never get to Owerri by facing Kano. You can't get there. So first of all is, where are you going? What is your objective? Remember when we talked about in the 5 the pillars, we talked about why. We talked about what am I even doing? What is that thing that I want to do or you want me to do? The second question is, why am I doing it? I will ask that question, why? It's when, if you can answer these questions, then it will help you to know who you are working with. It will determine who you want to work with, where you want to go, the route you want to follow. Then you talk about where. Now, where is that thing? The venue, the platform. You've answered that question. They talked about who are you doing it with? You find out. So this thing, if you remember the five W's and 1 H, and then how are you going to do it? If you can sit down and answer this question, it will determine the person you're working with. It will determine where you are going and how you want to do it. Everything is worked out, it's planned out, you can't mix it. Then it will tell you that this person I have already attached to is not the right person. And what you just do is to remove yourself and find out the right person. So it's very simple. So if you understand all that we said, it won't be difficult to take that decision. The person you are attached to, if it's not the person, you know immediately and you detach yourself. I hope I've answered that question. Any more questions, because we are done? Any more questions? Okay, so by way of rounding up now, I want to encourage us from all that we have done, starting from idea generation. So it's possible that where you are, you have other ideas you can work with, then you look at it. And we came to mindset. So what kind of mindset do you have? Is it a fixed mindset? Is it that kind of mindset that is not my luck, it's not my chance, blah, blah, blah? No. You can be changed. You can reframe your mindset to a growth mindset and open up to possibilities. Then you talk about your purpose. Have you been able to have an inkling into what your purpose seems to? Have you looked at your giftings? Have you looked at your different giftings? Are you maximizing them? Look at that. Then we talked about vision. Do you have a vision? We're entering the last quarter of the year. What is your vision? What do you want to achieve? And then do you have goal? How do you intend to achieve it? What are your intentions? What do you want to do every day? That's goal. And then your personality, identity. Who am I? How am I going to line up with this? Then we talked about strategy. Of course, that's what we did today. What strategies do I have? This is my plan now. This is what I want to do. This is my strategies. Map it out. And then, of course, your personality. For me, this transformation must come. I will not remain the same again. So these are the things you have to ask yourself and also get answers. But then it's open. You can also get back to me if you have any problem. You can reach out and then follow me on my pages. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram. We have Talk to Me. Talk to Me is a platform where we talk some of these things so that you read from us every day. So you look for us. And if up till now you're not in Facebook, in any of the social media, then you're not helping yourself at all. Then follow us on our different pages. We have in Twitter, Instagram, follow us so that you have further access. And if anytime you have questions, you can also ask. And then invite people for different programs. These are the only ways you can do this thing, by keeping close and getting more information. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for another eventful day. We'll meet again. Thank you. So that is the end meeting. Thank you. Close this.